is Saturday night, and I'm actually ahead of the game, and I planned our meals for next week, starting with Sunday. I also started my grocery list for Aldi, and so I thought I'll just go over with you right now what our meal plan is for the week, and then tomorrow when I grocery shop at Aldi, I'll show you what I got. But tomorrow we're going to have chicken parmesan calzone with corn and apples. So I've got chicken strips from Butcher Box that I just got. We're going to use that up, and I'm going to make the pizza sauce from scratch using tomato paste and tomato sauce. And I just got a bunch of corn from Azure, and we got a ton of apples from Azure, so that's how we're going to do that. I'm going to pick up the pizza dough from Costco. Then on Monday, we're going to do Instant Pot beef brisket with gravy, potatoes, green beans, and sourdough toast. I got a beef brisket in my Butcher Box as well, and so the gravy will be made right in the Instant Pot. I'm going to pick up some potatoes from Aldi. I got a bunch of green beans from Azure, and I will pick up the sourdough bread like we always do from Aldi. And then Tuesday, we're going to do the chicken and stuffing casserole that was meant for tonight. We're going to do that on Tuesday with peas because I got a bunch of peas, and again, apples because I got them from Azure. We're going to be eating a lot of apples over the next couple weeks. Wednesday, kids eat at church, so it's just my husband and I, so we're going to do tuna melts. We'll do that on that sourdough bread, and we'll have that with apples. And on Thursday, Instant Pot carbonara with broccoli and sourdough toast. I have pretty much everything on hand for that with the exception of I'm going to pick up some more broccoli. I have one bag, but one bag is typically not quite enough for our family. So I'm going to pick up one more bag, and then I'm going to use my bacon from Butcher Box instead of using pancetta. Friday, we're going to do a charcuterie board with fruit because I have a bunch of crackers that I got in Ruby's pantry that are technically expired, so I want to make sure we eat them up. So I'm just going to see what Aldi has for charcuterie stuff, and we'll go from there. I know I'm going to get like some meat and some salami and pepperoni, things like that. Saturday, we're going to do sloppy joes with potato chips and apples. So I have training. I'm going to actually get a job at Target as an on-demand, so basically like a backup, and so that is my orientation that day. Also happens to be my birthday. Usually we'd go out, but because we are pinching our pennies, we're going to stay home and I'm going to make sloppy joes. That's one of my favorite meals, and I am just going to buy the buns. Typically I make them, but that's not the season of life we're in, so that is okay. So I've got my list going here. I will ask the rest of the family if there's things that they think that they need aside from what I have on here. I tried to put on what I think that they would need, and then tomorrow we'll grocery shop and I'll show you everything. Hello and happy Sunday. I just got back from Aldi. We did our Aldi grocery haul for the week. If you've been watching my previous videos, you'll know that my goal is right around $100. It is not the end of the world if I go slightly over, but we are just trying to rein in that budget a little bit more. I did go a little over today because there were a few seasonal items that I'm going to show you that if I didn't get them now, I knew that we would just miss out on them. So to me, it was worth going over. We went over by $8.96, so not terrible. But when I show you them, you'll see why I just got them now, because if your Aldi is like my Aldi, if you don't buy them when you see them, they'll be gone the next time you go back. We did get an Azure order and a Butcher Box. So my Azure order, I got like 20 pounds of apples. So you'll see we don't have a ton of produce here because we're going to eat a lot of apples this week, over the next few weeks actually. And then we got a bunch of bagels. So that is going to be a lot of breakfast this week and going forward. And then Butcher Box, of course, we got our meat. So you will see that I don't really buy a lot of meat at the store when I grocery shop, and that is why it is a lot easier to stick around $100. Groceries are just really expensive right now. So even shopping at Aldi is hard to stick around $100. And you'll see that I bought things that I typically buy organically, just conventional this time, to keep that budget even lower because I knew I was going to be going over because of some of the seasonal stuff. So let's get started. Let's go down our the receipt. I should mention that I shared my meal plan with you already, and we were originally going to have on Friday the charcuterie board with fruit, but I'm going to switch that to Thursday. I'm going to swap my days. Thursday, we were going to have Instant Pot carbonara with broccoli and sourdough. But I realized that I have Bible study Friday night. And my husband works all day on Friday. He's working overtime. So I switched them because he could heat up the carbonara. Where like the charcuterie board, we really want everyone to be around. And so I thought that would be a great thing to have Thursday. My daughter dances till 7:15. So we usually wait to eat till she gets home, and we usually watch a movie. So we'll watch a Christmas movie. So I thought, let's just switch them. We'll do the charcuterie board when we watch a movie. My plan was to watch a movie Friday night, but I forgot about Bible study. So I just want to make sure I told you that, because right before this on this video, you will have seen that I went through my meal plan with you. Okay, the first thing that we got is just a half gallon of organic whole milk, or I'm sorry, a half gallon of whole milk, $1.62. Typically I buy the organic half gallon, which is like 4 something. But again, because I chose a few seasonal items, we went ahead and just went with the cheaper option this week, and that's okay. And then we also, my elbow's really hurting, so I'm having a hard time picking things up. Then a half gallon of chocolate milk, $1.62. My son loves his chocolate milk, so that should get us through. We do have about half of a half gallon in our fridge right now from last week. Then I got a heavy whipping cream. If you see, I pretty much get this every single week. $4.69. We use it in a variety of things. I put it in my coffee. If I'm making a dessert, I might make whipped cream, or if we're doing something for breakfast. So I just kind of like to have it all on hand. We have one open in there. This will just go back behind it. I don't even know if we'll need it this week. I do believe the carbonara calls for heavy cream, but I might have enough with what I have in the fridge. But I thought, let's just get it. We'll keep it. It'll be fine. It's got a long shelf life. So that is $4.69 if I didn't already say that. My husband needed some creamer for his coffee, and they have been out of this one, and I like this one because it's a little simpler. It isn't the cleanest, like totally clean, but it is better than a lot of the other ones. This is $3.45, and he'll just use this in his coffee. It is just the sweet cream, so he uses that every day. Then this is one of the seasonal items, and I haven't been buying these because they're just so expensive. I used to drink this every day, and I kind of got away from it and just went to cheaper coffee. But when I saw the seasonal one, I knew that I had to get it. And again, if I didn't buy it now, I knew I wouldn't get it. So I'm going to have to savor these. They're the peppermint mocha. I got 2 of them. So these were $5.98, and they were not on my list. So right here, $11.96, $12 that I didn't plan on spending. So this right here is basically why we went over. But again, buy it now or you'll never get it. And this is a really hard season for us, and we're not getting to do our normal Christmas decorating and things like that in this rental. So we are just going to take what we can get and enjoy what we can of the holiday season. And that includes peppermint mochas for me. Still cheaper than going through the Starbucks drive-thru. All right, next is some cream cheese. Well, as I said, we got a bunch of bagels in our Azure order. We have a pumpkin cream cheese in the fridge and a regular one, so I picked up a strawberry one. This was $1.89, so we'll use that with our bagels. And then a lemonade for my son. This was $1.99. We just try to have something different for him to drink every once in a while. Last week I did pineapple juice. That's almost gone. So I picked this up, and this will carry him through this week when he wants something different to drink. And then Parmesan cheese shreds. This is $2.45. And I believe that I need this in the carbonara. That is why it was on my grocery list, I believe. And probably the chicken parmesan calzone tonight. So hopefully one of them will be enough. We're going to make it be enough. I may have some more in my mom's freezer, but I didn't know if I'd make it over there to dig through it. And I thought, that's fine. It's frozen. We'll use it next time. I'm just going to pick this up. Then I got 2 things of crescent rolls. I was going for pizza dough, but they didn't have any pizza dough like this. And so that's what I was going to make the calzones out of. That's what the recipe calls for. But we're just going to try it with these. I make a broccoli cheddar chicken braid that I use crescent rolls for, and I think that this will work for the calzones. Might not be exactly, and I typically never follow a recipe exactly anyways. I picked up 2 because I didn't know if I need to. I feel like more than likely I will. So these are $1.95, so $3.90 for 2 of them. Then I picked up a thing of broccoli. So we have one in the fridge or freezer, and we're gonna have it with the carbonara, but I feel like these are not quite enough. Especially sometimes some of them it's a lot of stocks, and who wants to just eat the stock? You want the floret. So I picked up another bag of these, and this is $1.89. So I'll make 2 bags of broccoli when we have our carbonara. Okay, next is ham. If you watch my videos, you know I get lunch meat every single week because we do a lot of sandwiches. $5.49 for the 1 pound. We have one more thing of turkey in our fridge to use up, so that's why I didn't buy any turkey again this week. And so $5.49 for the ham. Then I got some baby carrots. This is just for eating, but also for our like charcuterie snack night. Some organic baby carrots, and these were $1.49. And I'll make some homemade ranch dipping sauce probably. Then we got 3 kinds of cheese for our charcuterie board. The reason why we're doing that, and I might have mentioned this in my meal plan portion of this, but we got some like entertainment crackers, like an assortment from Ruby's Pantry that they're technically expired. So I want to get through and use them before they go stale. I know they're still sealed, but eventually they will. So I got 3 kinds of cheese. They were each $1.99 a piece, so right around $6 here. I got a Colby Jack, a mild cheddar, and a mozzarella. And we'll slice these into slices with the crackers, and you'll see that I got some meat to go with it too. So we'll use it for that, and then of course just eating. And then we got this salami collection for $6.45. It has classic herbs and spices and a black pepper. So we went ahead and picked this up. I really do prefer to get nitrate-free lunch meat, but this is what they had, so this is what we're going with. And you know what? That's okay. All right, next is some turkey pepperoni, also for the charcuterie board. But I thought also, because I'm gonna be making pizza sauce for the calzone tonight, I picked up some more English muffins. We could do English muffin pizzas for lunchtime if we wanted to, and use this turkey pepperoni on it as well. So $2.49 to go with our charcuterie board, and then whatever else we might want to use them for. Then I got some tomatoes, just a wild wonder, again, for the charcuterie board. And where'd they go? $2.69. It is, does it say how much it is? 12 ounces. So just under a pound. Then this is another seasonal buy that wasn't on the list, but again, buy it while it's there or you'll never get it. A pack of hot cocoa K-cups for $7.99. There's 24 of them in there. No, these aren't good for you. And I do make hot cocoa on the stove with milk in a really nice clean mix, but if my kids want hot cocoa and I don't have the time or the desire to make it on the stove, this is a great option, or something really quick. 6 mocha, 6 Irish cream, 6 salted caramel, and 6 peppermint. So $7.99. Again, not something that was on the list, but this is partially why we went over. I actually think we would have done really well if I didn't buy any of the seasonal stuff. We would have been under $100, I think. Then I got a thing of olives, which, man, olives have really gone up in price. It's been a long time since I bought any because we had such a storage in our house, but we've used through them. I looked through the pantry and I don't see any olives. So this is just some large black olives for $1.75 for the charcuterie board. And then a thing of green olives for $1.59. Again, charcuterie board. I wish they do black olives in those jars. All right, next, another seasonal item. Buy it now or you'll never get it. The candy cane Oreos. They're so good. These are $2.69. It took all my willpower not to buy more than one. So if they're still there next week, I will probably get another package. I love peppermint. Love candy canes. I love all the mint things. This is my favorite. Like, I can do without pumpkin spice. Peppermint is my favorite. Okay, let's see. Then we got a bag of just the wavy potato chips. We're gonna have these with our sloppy joes because I love it for picking up the remainder of your sloppy joe mix that falls out of your bun. and $2.19 for that. Then we got a Chex Mix. This is $2.69. And this is for the charcuterie board as well. Then we got some organic yellow potatoes. This is a 24-ounce bag. And this is $3.29. This is going to go with the Instant Pot beef brisket. Okay. Then the next thing we got, I've got it spread out on my counter here, is 2 packages of Hawaiian Rolls. And they are $2.75 a piece. The reason why I got 2, typically I buy 1 just to keep in the pantry, was because they didn't have any hamburger buns. No hamburger buns at all for our Sloppy Joes. Typically I make them from scratch, but we are not in that season right now. In the oven here, as I've told you, if you've seen other videos, is really finicky and it's just not conducive for making homemade bread. So we're doing store-bought bread for this season of our life, and that's fine. But they had no hamburger buns, and I wasn't gonna go anywhere else to buy hamburger buns, so we are just gonna have Hawaiian Rolls instead for our Sloppy Joes, which I think will still be delicious. And so again, 2 of them, $2.75 a piece, so $5.50 for both of them. And then next is the English muffins. So a pack of English muffins for $1.39 breakfast, but also I thought if we have leftovers, we can make little pizzas out of them. We're gonna do the tuna melt, so I could either do it on sourdough or the English muffins. We'll have to decide when the time comes. My plan is sourdough, but we could use those too. Then the next thing is not something that was on my list, but I will need it later in the month. So $3.49 for the French fried onions for green bean casserole. I got 3 cans of the French style green beans in my Azure order, and I already have cream of mushroom in my pantry. So the last thing I needed was these. So now I am set to go for that. So this was $3.49. It wasn't on my list. It wasn't something I was planning on spending. But again, if you don't buy it now, it'll be gone next week. So I just picked it up so we can have it for later this month. Then eggs. Let's see. So I just got the white eggs today. So you know that typically I always buy the pasture raised brown eggs because I do think that they have the best flavor. They just can't be beat, but they're like $4.45 for a dozen, and these eggs were $1.16 a dozen. So right there, that saved me over $3. So for this month, or for this week, we went with the cheaper ones because again, I went over budget buying seasonal items. So I got 2 dozen eggs, and we're gonna be just fine eating these. I just really like the other ones. Okay. Then next is some cotton candy grapes for the charcuterie board and just for eating. I love cotton candy grapes, and this is something I'm willing to spend the money on because I know we will eat them. Sometimes grapes can be iffy, but I feel like the cotton candy ones are always really delicious. And honestly, they weren't that different in price when I was at the store. I was shocked. $4.29 each, so $8.58 for the 2 of them. Yes, it's a little expensive, but I wanted to have some sort of fruit for the charcuterie board besides apples. And then, like I said, we'll just eat them anyways. Then I had to just get some regular bread. They were out of the sub buns that I typically get for my son. I think we might have 2 or 3 left in our pantry, so hopefully that will go through this week. But I wanted to pick up just some regular bread in case we need to use those. They can also use Hawaiian Rolls, but just some regular honey wheat bread, $1.75. And then the last thing is our sourdough loaf, and I buy this every single week. Sometimes I get this one and the everything, but again, just to try to stay closer to that budget, I just got one, $3.49 for the sourdough loaf. This is the best bread ever, so good, and it's just delicious. So that's everything we got for $108.96. We did have 17 cents of tax. I'm trying to think of what I got that would have tax on it because everything is food. So I have no idea what I paid tax on, but 17 cents in tax. Minnesota here, we don't have tax on food. I really am wondering what the heck I got taxed on. Oh well. So 108.96 is our total for the week. This will get us through this week. Some of it obviously will carry over, like the hot cocoa mix, the peppermint mocha. I'm gonna have to kind of pace myself, but if it's there next week, there's a good chance I'll still buy more, just because it is such a short season and just makes me happy. And since we don't have all of our normal Christmas things. Anyways, that's everything. Thank you so much for joining me on this shopping trip. I hope that my meal plan gives you some inspiration. I hope that seeing what I got for right around $100 helps you get some ideas of what to make. Charcuterie boards are not cheap. Like, I feel like that's a more expensive dinner, but we don't do them often, and I just thought it would be really fun to do, and a great way to use those crackers. And I think I could have made it cheaper without the charcuterie board, but that's okay. You have to live a little too. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like meal plans, grocery hauls, things like that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. What I typically have been doing is videoing a little bit every day of what we're having for dinner, so that goes along with my meal plan. Some days it's a little more in depth and I'm showing you a little more what I'm doing. Some days it's just quick snippets, but I hope that you find that helpful. I hope that it gives you some inspiration, and I will see you on the next one. Remember that Jesus loves you, and I'm glad you're here. See you next time.